Hey you two, how's it going? Well, this video is getting put together and uploaded far later than I wanted because I've had a really bad problem with my jaw and teeth pain again. It's been a long time. It's been what, almost 6 months since I've had a bad problem with that. But in the last 4 or 5 days it's been after me just like always. Hurts like all get out. Anything cold is absolute murder. And no, there are no painkillers that can do anything with it. And frankly, it doesn't even really even matter if there is, because even if there are such things around, and even if they're in every corner store from here to the moon and back, and they only cost $1 for 1,000 pills, I can't afford it. So there's no point suggesting it. I can't get it. And so on. I have managed at least a little bit to distract myself from this crap by playing a lot of Kerbal Space Program and working on Minecraft video. I did manage to get a Minecraft video up yesterday. It's part of the Remembering Beta series. And I have several Minecraft video, or several Kerbal Space Program videos that I have uploaded today. And, well, 2 already today. And frankly, I'm going to be uploading 3 more. Because the reason I can go ahead and tell you about this, because by the time this video is up, those will already be there. So it's not quite the spoiler, but if you don't want to know, kind of mute your volume for about 30 seconds. In this 3-part series, I design, build, and fly a ship to the moon. Well, Kerbal's moon, the one that is spelled M-U-N. A lot of people I see call it Mun, but I don't believe that's the proper pronunciation. I believe it's spelled M-U-N, but it's still pronounced moon. And I've seen that expressed, at least by some, by putting umlauts over the U, which I believe is the correct way to handle a word like that. Anyway, that's what's going on there. Those videos are going to be uploaded this evening while this one is being edited. And, well, let's see what else is going on. Oh, yes, I'm still fighting with the Weed Eater. It still won't start. And I've done everything I can to ensure that the sorted lines and everything are clear. And, you know, I would check on the fuel filter, but it's inside the fuel tank and requires to pretty much destroy the fuel tank to get to it. So I'm not going to do that. I would get another Weed Eater, but that's not going to happen. I'd buy another lawnmower, but that's not going to happen. But I don't want to go there right now because that's depressing. And I'm tired of depressing. I'm very, dearly, dreadfully tired of depressing. Which is why I enjoy so much of what I've been doing with Kerbal Space Program, because that's not depressing. It's actually quite inspiring. I succeeded at something early this morning. Something that has been very difficult to achieve, and I got it done. And now I'm going to have to go over my designs and refine things and try to go again soon to do it even better. In the meanwhile, I've got a ship in orbit that it's in a really, really long elliptical orbit because it was on the way back and it ran out of fuel before it had managed to adjust its orbit enough to actually be able to re-enter the Kerbal atmosphere. And so it's stuck in this 65 million kilometer long elliptical orbit. And the closest approach to Kerbal is over 1 million kilometers high. Well, excuse me, 1,052 kilometers, 1 million meters. The millions are meters, the thousands are kilometers. Anyway, So I'm trying to figure out how I can get a ship up to that and match orbits with it and get that thing deorbited. You can't just transfer fuel to it because you can't do that in vanilla KSP just yet. Maybe someday, but not now. There's a lot of anticipation floating around about when the next release of Kerbal Space Program will be released, the upcoming 0.17 release. There is absolutely nothing coming from the developers lately about it, which many are taking as a sign that this impending release is impending very soon. But in point of fact, nobody knows but those who will do the releasing. And so on. So there's a lot of anticipation there. Definitely looking forward to that. There's a lot of cool stuff been added to it. They've added several more planets, most of which have moons, and probably a bunch of new parts, and so on and so forth. Opens up a lot more potential. So yes, I'm anticipating that just as much as everybody on the KSP forum and everybody else that plays KSP. I know I talk about that a lot lately, and I realize that some people kind of wish that I would shut up about this space shit. But you see, there's a thing. I believe I was like 6 or 7 years old when I first discovered Star Trek. And very shortly thereafter, I discovered NASA and the space program. I believe at the time they were flying some of the late Apollo mission, the middle Apollo missions, Apollo 8, Apollo 9. And I followed those flights as close as I could at the time. I was fascinated by it. It was amazing. It was some really fantastic stuff. And granted, everybody else in the world would pretty much watch it on TV, but actually being interested in it when that wasn't on TV? What, are you crazy? Are you some kind of weird person that you actually are interested in all that space crap? Oh, yes, actually, I guess so. I was fascinated by it, and I always have been. Apollo 11 was awesome. Apollo 13, everybody in the free world followed that mission. And then after that, people started losing interest. And by the time Apollo 17 flew, I think there were sitcoms that got better ratings. I think there were news programs that got better ratings. And you know something? I think that's pathetic. To lose interest in space exploration, that's amazing. It's dumbfounding. No, it's just dumb. Because there are so many things that came out of the space program. Most of the technology we use today was directly or indirectly affected by the space program, by the development and technological research and so on that was done to be able to make those ships possible, to make those flights possible, up to and including the space shuttle and the International Space Station, the Mars Curiosity rover, all of that stuff. It is having an effect now that we will feel 5 and 10 years down the line as the developments begin to filter into other industries. And is it a waste of money? Hell no. It's one of the most fantastic things we could be doing. If for no other reason, think of it this way. Look at the mess we're making of this world. Don't you think it's reasonable to think that it might just be a real possibility that sometime in the future we might have to look at a serious option of leaving this place and finding another world, and hopefully we don't screw that one up as bad as we've messed up this one? I can see that as a definite possibility. It could come to that. I'm not saying it will. I mean, that would be a little paranoid, but it's possible. I think it's only reasonable that should we reach a point where that would be a good idea, I think it would be reasonable if we actually had the capability to execute it. And so that's another reason for space exploration and research and development and space travel and so on and so forth. It's only one of many, hundreds even. And then there's the sheer fact that it's got to be one of the most fascinating, most coolest things going on. So yes, I'm fascinated with Kerbal Space Program. Does that mean I'm going to stop making Minecraft videos? No. I've made at least 300 Minecraft videos. I don't think I'm going to stop anytime soon. But do I have a special fascination for Kerbal Space Program? Oh, you better believe it. That hits me right where I've lived ever since I've been 7 years old or so. So, what can I say? It's the first program even remotely like it that I have ever encountered. I mean, Orbiter's great. Don't get me wrong, Orbiter is fantastic. And it's #1 up there on the realism scale. But there's something about Kerbal Space Program because there you're not just flying a sim, although you do a good deal of that. You're also designing and building the rockets, figuring out how to come up with a design that will achieve a particular stated purpose, and then actually fly the mission and get it done. Or go up in flames. But it's a real brain teaser. It really is. And if you don't think so, get the demo version at the very least and try it out and come back and tell me sometime how long it took you to come up with a rocket that could actually lift off, achieve orbit, transfer to lunar orbit or moon orbit or whatever you want to call it, land, take off, and return without blowing up or crashing. It's not as easy as you might think. It's a real challenge. Anyway, I'm ranting and rambling, I know. And to that, all I can say is, oh well. It's what's on my mind right now, and what else can a person talk about other than what's on their mind right now? Speaking of what's on my mind, there is a bit of music that has been driving me bug nuts for the last several days. The YouTube user XPDTV has an intro that he uses on his Kerbal Space Program videos. Now this is like the first 5 or 6 seconds of the video. I know it is a bit of music by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, but that's all I know. It sounds vaguely familiar even. I have been crawling over the Incompetech.com website listening to unbelievable amounts of stuff. That guy's got a lot of music on there, let me tell you. And I've been listening to a huge amount of it in the last several days. And I can't for the life of me figure out what music that is in that intro. If anybody happens to know, I'd love to hear it. You know, get me a URL or a title that I could search up on Incompetech.com. I'd love to know that. I'm not going to expect it because it's still a 1 in a million or a 1 in 10,000 thing. At least 1 in 10,000. The guy's probably got at least that many titles. I don't know honestly, but it's a lot. He's a very prolific person. He creates a lot of music and has been doing it for a long time. Anyway, I can tell by the feeling in my teeth that my brief reprieve from the pain, which happens every now and then, it will occasionally recede and give me a little bit of a break. That brief reprieve is coming to an end. And so, that means that I'm going to be getting out some hot coffee, because that gives me a little teensy tiny eeny weeny bit of relief. and working the hot coffee, hoping the pain will go away while I get this video edited and rendered and uploaded tonight. Speaking of videos, I need to do something a little bit more often than I have been. This 2 or 3 times a week stuff is just not cutting it. It's driving me nuts. What's really driving me nuts even more than that is that it's weird. I wanted to kind of slack things off a little bit and not be doing quite so much quite so often to give myself a little bit of a break. But now I'm in that situation, and it drives me nuts because I actually want to be making videos more often than I am. Maybe not necessarily every day, but I want to do it more than I am. And it's frustrating because I could probably be making 4 or 5 videos a week, if it weren't for assorted interruptions, the problem with my jaw pain and so on, which is really starting to get bad now. And everything is just getting in the way. It is so frustrating. Why do you think that is? I don't know. It's because I really like doing it, and I miss doing it all the time. And then when I go to start making something, everything tries to get in the way and stop it. So I'm going to have to rethink some of this somehow. I don't want the pressure of a daily thing, but I want to be doing more than I have been. Well, anyway, I'm rambling again, I know. And I'm ranting, I know that too. And also I'm crazy, and I know that too. And so on. Well, I'd have to be crazy to come up with the likes of Epic Man, even if I can't say it right now. Anyway, here is a quick little teaser, the thumbnail for one of the videos that I will be uploading tonight. Take it easy. I'm out of here.